I'm leaving you, is all the sticky note read. The sticky note that was attached to a moving bill. This, and losing my job, and being reclusive for weeks, and struggling to catch up on bills, just piled up on me, so I just needed some time to clear my head. I packed everything I thought I needed, and drove out to a remote portion, well, what I believed to be a remote part of my state. While hiking through the dense forest, the signs of life seemed to be all around me. From birds chirping to leaves rustling under small feet, it was actually kind of nice. Just as I thought that, a sound made my blood run cold. What sounded like a scream seemingly forced all of the noise out of the surrounding area. Reflexively, I reached for my handgun as I scanned my surroundings, trying to determine the source of the scream. After analyzing every tree or bush or anything to see if there was any sign of something not right, I found nothing. Eventually, I relaxed and kept going. After some time, I found a clearing with what looked like a burnt-out fire pit flanked by 2 logs. This looked like a good place to set up camp. But what am I doing out here? I thought to myself while looking for some firewood later. That's when some more darker thoughts started to creep in, but I brushed them aside and kept going. All of a sudden, it was like someone hit mute on the forest. An anxious feeling crept all over my body. Again, I looked around, hatchet in hand this time. I prepared for the worst, but again, nothing happened. At this point, I was a little uneasy, but not scared. I mean, if anything came at me, I could be an American and shoot my problem away. Later that night, I was relaxing by the fire and enjoying the scenery and nightlife sounds. That night, I was relaxing by the fire, enjoying the scenery and sounds. All of a sudden, not one, but 2 screams erupted from the tree line. One sounded like a distorted voice being played back. The other sounded like an animal and a human screaming at the same time. I shot to my feet, flashlight in one hand, pistol in the other, and scanned my immediate area, hoping to find nothing. I was thoroughly disappointed to see a mass of black fur. What the actual fuck is all I could get out before the thing turned its head toward me. Its head was a deer skull. Its skinny, lanky form almost unfolded as it stood. Then it spoke. This thing spoke to me. This monster spoke to me. It was unnatural, like someone's voice was recorded underwater and played back through a broken speaker. "Starling, please help," is what it said as it approached me. The instant it reached for me, I shot it. That's when I realized I accidentally loaded a tracer into my pistol. As the red light hit its chest, the thing screamed so loud, I thought my ears would burst. The creature dropped to the ground, writhing in pain. Not wasting a second, I bolted into the tree line, not caring about where I was going, just trying to get away. The monstrosity wailed from behind me. Its footsteps told me one thing I did not want to realize: it was gaining on me. Looking back, I could see it reaching for me, when out of nowhere something hit it like a freight train. Before I could even get my bearings, it was flung like a ragdoll into a tree next to me. I looked back in shock, only to be met with darkness. Not paying attention, I slammed into a tree, knocking myself out. Woke up next to my fire, gun laying on my chest and a broken flashlight next to me. "What the hell happened?" I said, rubbing my head. Jolting up, I scanned my immediate area, trying to peer into the darkness. But I found nothing again. I took a moment to catch my breath. That's when a truth I did not want to realize crept into my mind. I had fired a single shot. with my heart furiously pounding in my chest. I checked my revolver. I had one spent round. Shit! A pair of glowing eyes caught my attention. They were low to the ground. Whatever it was on all fours. Okay, I can deal with this. I can't deal with this, was what I thought when it moved like the thing in the darkness stood on its back legs. Take a werewolf, but replace the wolf parts with a mountain lion. That's what stepped into the light of my campfire. I thought I was going to die for sure. I pointed my pistol at it, and it threw its hands up as if saying, "Don't shoot." Confused, I backed up as it sat on the log across from me. I was both terrified and confused. Obviously, if it wanted to hurt me, it could have. However, the thing just sat there as if waiting for me to do something. Then it moved its hand, paws, whatever they were, in a familiar way. Hello. It signed. This thing just used sign language. Hi? I began to relax a bit, however, this just raised way more questions than answers. What are you doing here? It signed as it stared at me curiously. I was just trying to clear my head. I thought camping would help. I said, absolutely dumbfounded as to how this thing knew ASL. And that's when I got a good look at its hands. They ended in pointed tips, like pointed bone covered with only skin and fur with no nails. The longer I stared, the more uneasy I got. I won't hurt you. It's okay. It signed frantically. It was aware of how uneasy I was. Not wanting to know the answer, I asked, "What are you?" Walker was all it signed, but I didn't need anything else to know what it meant. My mother, may she burn in hell, loved folklore and mythology, especially the Native American variety. Stumbling backward and falling off my log, anxiety gripped me like an anaconda. I then realized what this thing that attacked me was. Before I could vocalize my thoughts, the monster shot to its feet, jumped over the fire and log that I was just sitting on. It landed in front of me, looking down, before covering my mouth. I could see in its eyes that it was begging me not to say what I was about to. It put a finger up as if going to shush me. I gave a quick nod. It moved its hand away. Okay, names are a no-no. I say, trying to calm down. It picked me up and gently put me down on the log like a toddler. Wait till the sun comes up, then go back to your car. It's signed. Okay, but what if old Scully comes back? It let out a sound I could only assume was a chuckle as it patted its muscular arm and pointed at itself with a clawed thumb. Okay, you can take it in a fight, but can you kill it? Shaking its head no, its ego seemingly deflated. Don't know how, it signed while disappointingly looking down. As weird as it may sound, it reminded me of a sad puppy. Oh my god, I know I'm going to regret this. Alright, then we can figure something out. And when in doubt, kill it with fire, I said, trying to reassure my new bestial friend. If only I could remember the stories my mother told me. Unfortunately, she was more concerned with scaring the dog piss out of me more than anything else, so defense methods didn't really stick. So let's get this right. In the woods at night, one monster trying to help me, the other trying to eat me. Another scream cut through the silence of the night. Walker closed the distance between us and we stood back to lower back, while scanning the area beyond the light of the fire. Something at the edge of my sight zipped by faster than I could perceive. Walker ran into the darkness before I could say anything. Damn it. It was trying to separate us, and it worked. However, it seemed Walker had caught up to it. I could hear what sounded like two huge masses slamming into each other. I caught a glimpse of Scully getting close, but Walker intercepted it. Each hit was devastating. Both monsters were interlocked in mortal combat. I was a mere mortal, while two beings of myth and legend slugged it out, each struggling for the upper hand, both fighting to kill the other. If only I could fucking see the fight. Another scream ripped through the night. I couldn't tell if it was a victory cry or if Walker was really messed up. I grabbed a branch from the fire and used it as a torch. Stepping out into the darkness, torch leading the way and pistol in my free hand. Walker, I swear to God, if you jump scare me, I'll slap you with this torch, I said before quickly turning around to find that there was nothing behind me. Then I heard two things slam into each other, followed by another scream. The scream was different. It sounded more animalistic. Running in the direction that I'd heard the scream, I was soon met by the sight of Walker struggling with that thing biting into their shoulder. The sight of Walker in trouble triggered something in me. I could have run. But something in me shouted, "Fight!" I tucked my pistol into my waistband, grabbed my torch with both hands, and hit the thing with it as hard as I physically could. Somehow the torch remained lit, and the instant the thing let go of Walker, I hit it again. Walker's clawed hand sliced at its chest. It swung at me, just barely missing, and Walker went berserk. They were on it, ripping its chest open, revealing a jet black heart pumping rapidly in plain view. I shoved the somehow still lit torch into the open wound. It started writhing around on the ground. Just to be certain, I grabbed my pistol and shot it. Walker dragged the thing back to the fire, kicking and screaming before pulling its head off and throwing it into the flames, followed by the body. "Come here, let me check your wounds," I said, pointing at the bite marks. Walker timidly crouched down, almost embarrassed that they messed up. Their wounds seemed to heal quickly. "Well, it looks like you're gonna make it. Seems like you're still the big strong monster in these woods." Once that thing's completely burnt to a crisp, I'm gonna try to get some sleep. In the morning I woke up to a Native American girl cuddled up to me and oh shit, she's naked. "Okay, Walker, is that you, or am I about to be attacked by something else?"
"It's me,"
she signed before holding on to me in an attempt to keep warm. We cleaned up my campsite and I piggybacked Walker to my car. I threw a hoodie and some sweatpants. "Looks like we're monster killers." Walker gave me a nod and immediately hopped in my passenger seat. "You have anywhere to go?" I asked. She just gave me a sad look and shook her head no. Knowing I might regret this at some point, I just said, "Well, we got a room." We'd been back at my place for a few days when there was a knock at the door. I went to answer it and saw an Amazon of a woman. "Hello there," she said, staring at me. She was in a full-on suit. Looked more like she was going to a business meeting than anything else. "General Kenobi?" I stupidly responded. She stepped in my apartment and looked around. "Nice place you got. A monster killer like you can do a bit better, though." I don't know what you're talking about. Before I could finish my sentence, she grabbed me by the collar with one arm and lifted me up. There's no need to lie. I know what you did. Now where's the girl? Walker, who had been doing God knows what, stepped out into the living room, saw the situation, and immediately monstered out. Well, look at you, the Amazon said as she threw me aside like I was nothing. In an instant, she choked Walker and slammed her into the ground. Now, you two. I'm not here to cause any trouble. I'm here to offer both of you a job.